people have misread it or misinterpreted because the intention could be different, but the criticism is there. And many Kenyans would feel that, okay, fine, in Tanzania it's a full shutdown, but probably in Kenya there are some subtle attempts to restrict or to try and cut down on the liberties enjoyed within the cyberspace.
I will say this, when it comes to the liberty that we enjoy in the communication space and the freedom of expression, that is something that will never be taken from any Kenyan. And I would love the young people to get to understand this cybercrime amendment bill, because it came into place in the necessity of the kind of issues that have been prevailing in the online space, particularly where people are being bullied, where people are being, their obscene images are being shared on the spaces. Again, matters of cryptocurrency, also protection of the virtual assets. These are the things that it creates that necessity. We want to protect the Kenyans whom they are using the online space to be safe for them, so as to ensure that whatever they are trying to do there is something that go in lines with our constitution, but at the same time, it leaves no one in any vulnerable situation. So I would love the young people to invest their time and do a little bit research, because I usually find that most of the time when we criticize these certain kind of provision that we have in our country, we find that we miss a lot, because if someone can understand why is it that there was a problem in terms of necessity to create this law, and what a kind of the solution does it address to. So I want the Kenyans to invest their time in, to understand this kind of a particular bill. It is a bill that is not going to rob anyone's freedom of expression. If you're going today to say, I don't want to vote for this guy, no one will come to you. So these are the kind of the things that we need to understand as the young people. This bill particularly come into place to address issues specifically that have been raised since last year. And this is to curb the generation misinformation and to make sure that people understand exactly what is happening. Because I find it very difficult when people are being insulted, people are being persecuted, the character assassination in terms of whatever they are doing, and then somebody is using the vague language. So these are the kind of things that we need to curb. We need people who can talk on issues that are based in terms of issue-based, not only that they insult someone. So these are the kind of things that we need to curb, and to ensure that for the generation that is coming, our children, the children of this nation, they come into the space where already we have made the part that is very clear for them, not a part that is full of misinformation, full of insult, full of disregarding information in terms of how they view somebody, but they can view somebody in a way that is liberal, but not offending their rights. So these are kind of things we must look into. Also, I want to reply to my brother. UDA party and CPC party are partners to ensure that we transform this country. But that doesn't mean the kind of the ideology that they have in China is the same that we have in Kenya. They are communist, but for us, we are social capitalist. That's something that my brother has to understand. And we are in a better principality. China has their own way of doing their things. But at the same time, we must understand, China is a first world country. Actually, one of the is a NATO, one of the veto in the UN nation. So anything that they do, we must learn from them, because they are our partners in terms of transforming Africa and Kenya. So these are things that also we need to learn from them. Again, on the bill that Zahiri Janda proposed, where to curb this misinformation, whereby you can only talk on specific subject matters if you are professional of that field. True. I cannot become to be advised to somebody in the internet in terms of matters of to do with health, and you are not a doctor. How is that? A
lot of that is happening on TikTok. I see a lot of people coming to say, if you're having stomach problems, eat these oranges and eat these foods. Are you saying we can criminalize that?
And we have research institutes that can do that. We have professionals.
Is that a restriction on the right of expression?
No, that is not a restriction of right of expression. We have to understand matters of professionalism, they have their own. That's why you cannot go and contest on issues of teaching if you're not a teacher. Why is it that university lecturers are on streets? Why is it not police?
MP Babu Wino was teaching mathematics. Are you saying that should be challenged? That simply because he's not a teacher, he should not teach people online?
Yeah, he's not a teacher. He's not a teacher.
And Fred, that's what we are saying. This government of the day is really misinformed.
No,
Fred. You have representative like Brian saying mischievous and gaslighting things to Kenyans. You see, the other day I saw his boss calling the United Opposition, vichwa mbaya. So this party wants to come up with rules and regulations that they themselves...
My concern is, do you think such rules, such restrictions will work? That now you can tell people, okay, fine, you're only allowed to talk about this on the internet and not anything else.
And you know, Fred, they are making these laws to curb the opposition, not the government. Because we see each and every day, Oscar Sodi coming live on internet and saying insults. So will these rules apply to them as well?
Fred. A minute first. I have not even landed on my point. You see, when Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi Oginga and others fighters of this land of ours, one of the issues that they identified was ignorance, disease, and poverty. But I see what is hitting us more than any other generation is ignorance. We cannot say these bills that's coming in place is only for the opposition. While we know very obvious, any rule that come into place, it cut across all of the Kenyans. So we must rise beyond that. We are perceiving something that even we ourselves, we are trying to
restrict the kind of information that we can engage in online. I want us now, because you are the people who engage on the internet daily.
Yeah.
Rejoice, do you think it's possible now to tell people or to police people online and tell them you can only talk about this? You cannot talk about relationships because you probably are not in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think this government has very misplaced priorities. And speaking of Mheshimiwa Babu Owino, please allow me to congratulate him. And I think all the other leaders should actually emulate him. Servant leadership. You know how many students benefited from that online class? Quite a number, a lot of young students. And Fred, I want to say that regarding the cybercrime bill and restricting Kenyans, I want to say that political bad manners cannot be corrected by constitutional amendments. It can only be corrected by character and behavioral change. And I think because these are adults in the government, the only way is to change the entire regime.
So because we seem to agree that there are subtle attempts in Kenya to restrict the way you act in the cyberspace.
Yes.